You're here because you want to learn how to safely and properly build up a stud wall for when you're installing a shower valve. The shower valve we're going to install today is a 150mm centers, which is your standard kind of bar mixer shower valve. So what I'm going to show you in this position right here is how we build a stud wall up here. First fix our pipes so they're sticking out nicely just here, ready for the shower. So effectively we've got the shower along the bottom here, and then we're going to put up 3 studs just like so. What I'm going to do is put 2 larger pieces of timber for our pipes to actually come through, but we're going to put our hot and cold pipes up through that, and I'll show you the advantages of us using timber and running our pipes through like that when it comes to further along in the job. At the end of this video you'll know how to do the stud wall, what to actually build the first substrate up with, and also then that will leave you what you want to do when it comes to tiles, or if you want to put shower board up or anything. Okay, so that's what I'm going to show you. This is going to be a shower in here. I've already removed the bath. I'm going to be doing loads of work with shower board and stuff like that, but that will be on other videos on the channel. So make sure you subscribe. It's very important you click the like button. So without further ado, let's go. Firstly, we need a tape measure because, as you can see, we've already got some bits and bobs here, and the shower tray that we've got going in here is going to come up to about this point here, run all the way back that way. So the first thing I'll do is just make sure behind here how deep all this existing boxwork is and how much space that's going to leave for my shower tray to go in. So it's 4 inches. So we know then that, guess what kind of stud work we can buy? 4x2b, as they call it, 4 inches by 2. How am I going to lay out the actual studding itself? It's very important that we have a stud that comes up here. We want a stud that comes up there. Generally, it's a good idea to have one up the middle as well. I would actually like to remove this piece and also remove this bit down here and just build everything from scratch. Also, as you can see, we've got our hot and cold feeds in here already, and some absolute legend has put valves in for us. Isn't that nice? Unfortunately, these are going to be redundant because obviously once we put our shower board up here, no one's ever going to be able to get to these. The other thing is we've got this weird little stub here that I don't really want to do anything with. So when we do put our 4 inch in, basically we can just run our studding up to it and also up there. This is the difficult bit of this job. This is the hard bit. As you see there, that wall goes away like that because we are working in a cottage that's probably about 400 years old. It's flint and clunch walls, which are plumber's like worst nightmare, any builder's worst nightmare, trying to get stuff to fix to this, so that's going to be difficult. What we want to figure out then is where we have our studs, but also the other thing we need to make sure, the reason we're doing all this is to make sure that this wall is not only level up like that, but also as much at a right angle to this as it can be, so when our shower tray goes in we don't have large gaps in the corners that we need to make good with silicone or something like that. So now we know that we've got 4 inch coming out there. Good idea is just to measure up to the ceiling. So that's 2160 times by 3. Add in a couple of extra meters as well. Let's go and get some wood. Off to the suppliers. So here we are at the suppliers. Look, firstly we've got 4 inch here, but the one thing you want to make sure of is when you get your length, just hold it up and make sure that it's straight, okay? Can you see that this one here is just bowed in the middle a tiny bit? Not loads, but enough to be maybe a bit annoying. So you just want to pick out the ones that are as close to straight as you can get them. Now we've got to remember that wood is a natural product, and therefore you're not always going to get straight, and also make sure that it hasn't been torpedoed by a forklift. Now I know that some of you are going to say if you don't buy the nasty bits of wood, that's going to leave it for other people to buy. Sorry, that's not my problem. It's not the problem of my customer. We need to get exactly the right amount of wood, okay, or the right type of wood. It needs to be really good quality. So I'm getting some treated 4x2 here. We've got 3 uprights. If we go back to where we're thinking, 1, 2, 3, so that's 3 pieces, and then also I'm probably just going to get 2 or 3 more pieces. So we've got across bits to go in, and also we might need some tie backs to go back to that wall as it curves up. Always buy more than you need. You can always return bits that you have not touched or sawn or anything like that, okay? And the bits that you maybe have and you've got anything left over, you can use that for kindling and burn up the chimney to add to your carbon footprint. Brilliant. Also, if you're buying your wood well in advance, make sure it's laying flat on the floor. Otherwise you'll be very unhappy in a couple of days' time when you actually go to do any work on it. Oh, mate. So what I'm going to do is we're going to take out the stud work that's already in here. So I'm just going to bring this back to this line here, which means I've just got to try and get this lot out. So we've got something decent to go into at the back there. Oh, another Game of Thrones weapon. Oh wow, look, they only used 2 screws. 2 screw Jim's been in. Okay, right, so we've got back to some sort of semblance of normality. Right, just making sure at the moment that our uprights are good. Just thinking about what to do about these tiles here. So obviously we've got a step. So I think what I might do is use some packers as they go back down at the bottoms, like so, just to make sure that you get them nice and straight. And then once I've got the packers in and they're screwed, we'll fill in the gap at the bottom with a really, really thick, like low modular foam. So the first thing is I am going to get just the headpiece made. So let's get that done nicely. Max doesn't like the way I'm doing this, do you, Max? I can just feel it. I don't mind. Oh, you don't mind, do you? No one minds. So I'm just measuring up like this. Put that right to the top like that. Okay, 7.2. Right, so let's get our cutting bench out. What a beautiful day it is, Max. Remember to lock your van. There are a lot of people out there who want your tools. They don't want to work to get them. So 720, 720 right there. So look at this for a start. Look at that. The height changes like that, just from the top. None of this undoing a thing at the back here. You can just get it like so and be like, oh, I want it that high now. Get it to where you want it, just about there. Release that and that's it, it's done. No more holding back the guard when you start. You can just do that here. Like that. How cool is that? Seriously cool. You've got a gauge on the back here to tell you your depths, so generally when you're doing this sort of stuff you're just doing max depth anyway, and then if you want to change your angles you can do that there. Good thing as well about this, it locks at both ends. Okay, which might annoy some people when it comes to getting them loosened off again, but it actually means that it stays at that angle. Sometimes you find the back kind of loses its angle and doesn't work properly. Anyway, we're going to be doing a flat cut on here today. Also, when you get down here you notice you've got a really nice cut area there, that red on that, and also when we light up as well you've got some good lights in here so you can actually see the blade down there, so it's nice and easy for us just to make sure that we're actually getting our cut right. I'm currently using the 4 amp power one on here, but you can get the 8 and the 12 on here if you want to go completely crazy. Beautiful clean cut, nice and easy to do. Let's get started, it's raining. Right, so first thing I want to do is we're going to now get this head up here. Because we've got this curve here, and hopefully you won't have this problem, I've used a bubble on the straight bit, like that, built it out so we know where we are straight, right, and then mark the back of the bubble, which is what this pencil line just there is. I've done that in 3 places along here, and that means what we can do then is we can then put our 4x2 piece up, lining up with those bits at the back, and we're just going to put just 1 or 2 screws in, maybe just 1 screw in for now. But what that'll allow us to do is then measure up from here to get our proper 4x2 pieces in, and then we can actually, before we fix it in properly and all the rest of it, we can then move it about a bit and make sure that we're level this way, but also as level and as square coming out off this wall as we possibly can. Bearing in mind that we are going to have to make alterations to this wall later on in the job in another video. For this video here, where you guys are making up a stud wall ready for a shower valve, this is all you need to worry about. So let's get this top bit popped in.
Let me take 48 seconds to tell you that you can learn plumbing online in a fully structured course and curriculum designed by me from the comfort of your home or shed in your own time to improve your basic plumbing skills and knowledge. From the basics of how to use basic plumbing tools, how to turn the water off, how to join and bend copper pipe and waste pipe, to a fun skills test where you'll make your own test rig, which trainees and apprentices do at MVQ level. There's even a section on the top 5 plumbing jobs that I'll teach you along the way. You can ask questions in the discussion panel next to each lesson, plus get access to the Plumbing Essentials community where you can post pictures of your work and talk about the course and learn from your peers. So if you're a young person looking to get into the industry, an apprentice who wants to brush up their skills, a DIYer interested in plumbing, or even a handyman looking to add plumbing to their services, then look no further than learnplumbingonline.com with yours truly from Plumber Parts. Anyway, back to the video.
So what we're trying to do is we're trying to get level, so because the wall is falling back the whole way, our high point is here, So we're getting that onto there like so, and then we're running it up and keeping it level, making sure that that's roughly where it's going to be. And to be fair, that isn't bad there at all. So we'll pop another screw in just to hold it. So that there is level, lovely. Oh, it looks so out. Do you know what I mean? It's because this is falling back that way, isn't it? So this is straight. I'm going to measure from here, minus about 5 mil, pretty much. Let's do this one first, actually, and we'll measure the middle one in a minute. 2117, actually. We can just do it off here. 2117. Right, let's see how she fits, shall we? Ah, perfecto. First time, eh? Right, next thing, we've got those 2 pipes coming through there, so we just need to notch out those at the back, and then we can actually get this fully pressed back, make sure it's nice and level there. Also then, I just want to make sure that we are roughly the same distance from there to there, and the same at the top as well, because that'll make it easier when I get to put the shower panels on in the next video. Right, because we've got that through there, I might just be able to... It's quite risky, I don't really want to shove a screw straight into the side of the toilet cistern. So we're going to make sure this is level, which it is. So I'm just going to put one down the bottom. One thing I'm worried about is, Max, on this job, we do need to go back into this at some point. So what we'll have to do is we'll use packers for that, or sometimes you've got to use your brain. And you can use things like this, little slivers, just to pack at the back. And then that's what you'll screw to. And then the interior bit here will be filled up with a special foam that you just cut back. That's fine, there's nothing wrong with doing that. Because when this is all done, there's gonna be a shower screen that runs up here. I might even double this up to take the shower screen, actually, this piece of wood. When it comes to the fact that we're in this old building here, there's nothing level, first up, we've got something finally that is actually level. Can you believe that, yeah? It's amazing, isn't it? What a job. When it comes to getting these drilled back into the wall, the way I'll do that is we'll use just a standard wood bit that will go as far down into this as possible. Then we'll use a masonry bit to go through into our tiles, and then obviously into our wall at the back. We'll tap a plug all the way down on the end of a screw, and then we'll zap them up, and that will keep this nice and safe. We'll do all that jiggledy-piggledy, whatever you call it, in a sec. Then we'll get that all screwed up properly in, all right? Sounds like it's eased off. This is the Bosch GLM 5027CG, right? If I was gonna get my tape measure out and do this, quite lucky I've got an ox tape here, 2655, something like that. And then I've got to go behind me and do it. It's pain. And also I've got to remember the measurement. This thing saves them. Just put it up on here like that. Put it where I want to go, press the button. Ha! 2654, yeah? Pretty much spot on. But also that's there now in the last ones. It's got a tiny little spirit level on it. Honestly, this video is not what I want this to be about. Look, also auto orientation on the screen. So now I can make sure, I really need this header here to be perpendicular to the wall over there. It'll make my life a lot easier when it comes to doing our next bit. So I'll just pop that on there like so. It's out by literally 1 mil. Our central noggin obviously helps if it's in the centre, so roughly 14. Right, so now we've got to get this pushed back so we're level. So we're just marking these screws up now. So I'm just going to go through, and then we've got a spot that I can't get at because I've already screwed that one in at the top. Straight that way. Guess what? Pretty straight that way. No, it is. solid, isn't it? So when you are drilling into something a long way off and you don't want to move the piece of wood to get that plug in and do all that, you can just drill in with your SDS bit like I am now. I've already tapped through with my normal wood bit. Okay, so I've just gone through the wood bit. Let me go. Right, now we're actually up here where we're going to go into the wall. Hold this where I want it. Now, right, so let me put our plug in, and then we can get our screw on the end like so, and we can just tap that through. Right, get to about there, and there you go. Make sure that we're still level up here. Yeah. Sometimes I'm so proud. See, I could act, couldn't I? Did that make you feel sad?
Not really.
I can do the sad, I can do remembering a job I did yesterday and wistfully remembering it. Do you want to see that? There you go, that was it. I'm going to fill this up with foam now. We'll just cut that back later on. We're now ready to first fix our pipes up to where the shower valve is going to be. So what I would do is, I know I want the shower valve to be about here, okay? And what I'm going to do is put two sideways on noggins that go across here like that. And that will not only allow us to get our shower pipes exactly out in the right position, but it will also allow us in the future, when we're putting in our shower valve together, we will have properly nice wooden fixing points to go into, which is often the problem with this sort of thing. That being said, I am also going to ply over the top of this, so all that's probably just too much extra really, but who cares? I want it to be good. I'm amazed that one of my offcuts fits exactly. Oh my God! Here comes the sun. Right, so we've got those bits in, we've got our main bits in here. Now what we're going to do is first fix our hot and cold up to where we want them to come out for when our shower's on. Now you've got to remember which way round the hot and the cold are on the shower valve, so check that with the manufacturer. Generally they're always the same way round, but I'm not going to tell you which way that is because I forgot. Also the same goes for the pipes down the bottom. Which one's hot, which one's cold. Try and figure that one out, and then you know which way to pipe them up in a sec. Another one bites the dust. Alright, we're just going to run the hot till it gets here. I mean, I could have a look at the valve actually and see which one was hot. And then the next easiest thing for me to do is to do this. With all those. Which one do you think it's going to be, Max? I'm thinking cold's always on this side of her tap. So I'm thinking it's going to be the same for this one here. That's nice and hot. Hot. And then you put cold underneath. At this point of the job, you always have to think what's going on this wall here, because this wall here is going to bring it in or out, and that will affect our centre. Now we need this to be as central as we possibly can get it, but you are really playing a bit of a guessing game here. So we know for a fact that we are going to have a shower board on here that comes out probably about 10 mil. So actually we'll just run it up to there, so that's 700 there, okay? So there's our centre there. Max, you happy with that? So now we know where they're going, we can do this. Get our bubble straight, and in fact I'll drop it down here so we've got it right in our line when we do it at the same time. Pop a pencil on there. Yeah, Max? Same on this one here. And then, of course, I think you can all see it coming. Get our buble so it's straight there. I'm just going to go halfway across here, yeah? And then we've got the centres for our shower valve. Hot left, cold right. Let's get a drill bit. So now we've got to turn the water off. Were you filming just then? Yeah. Alright. Well, there's going to be a little bit of hot here, hopefully not too much. And it should also be the same on the other side. Right, so we're just going to put some check valves in here. Don't trust the old valves that are in here. And I want something that doesn't need servicing. And it also stops any kind of, there's a discrepancy between the hot and cold water. We don't have to worry about it backfilling down the hot side, which is generally which way it'd go. But you never know sometimes, so got to drill one more hole as well through here for that one, but we'll do that in a sec. So let's just do our pipe work up here first. Nice and basic. So we've got our stuff on. I mean, this has got it. Ain't going nowhere, guys, honestly. We've got big fat screws going through. We've got adhesive foam on the back as well. We've also got our 2 hot and cold feeds ready to go in. So now what we need to do is measure up and install our plywood top. After that, you decide what you want to do, okay? But you will know now how to make this and get it all done. How I do it, generally just measure across in 3 different points. So 720 there. I just want to come up here, make sure it's roughly the same. 720, beautiful. 720 fits fine. Heights, 2150. And then just come across to here, 2150, that'll be fine. Let's go outside with a straight edge, set of goo glaze, and our absolute beast cutter, get that cut. So now I can push this, get that down, just to pass there, let that go. We're all ready to start sawing. That is a sweet cut, mate. Always go from the good edge. Oh, pull the top out of your pencil. Do the other side as well. Once you know that your piece of wood is perfect, it's going to go in, which this will do in a sec, once I've got it in. Try and get it as upright as you can, up to the pipes that you're going onto. If you want, you can, there's a few different ways you can do it. You can run over a measuring tape over to where it's going, or I prefer just to actually go here and actually mark them up properly. Now we fill up with screws. Let's do it. Now we've got a perfect wall to match up the perfect wall on that side over there, which means that this job can progress nicely. So next up, I've got to get on our shower board. This is what that looked like.
As you can see, the rest of the job went absolutely perfectly, ending up with this beautiful bath to shower conversion. If you want to see that job from start to finish, from ripping out the bath to finishing it off like this, then members of the channel can watch that early by clicking on the link. You can also gain access via our locals page. Please check out our sponsor of this video, Bosch Professional. You can get 10% off using our special code. It really helps the channel when you visit our sponsors. Anyway, if you haven't got a membership, just hold tight and I'll see you in the next video.